So let's talk about the Twitch success. Was your growth linear? Was it exponential? What methods did you use to grow on Twitch? Because I heard, we've had a couple Twitch people in here, right? I think one of them said like, what you have to do is just stream for as long as possible, because like then people, they like open up the stream and then they leave or they walk to the, the nearby McDonald's or something, but their stream is running like on their computer. What strategies did you use to grow on Twitch?
It's a bit complicated because while that in theory is the best way if you already have a following, that was what the algorithm will reward, is you stream, and that will recommend you to more and more people because you're accumulating watch time. Even if you're not the most watched out of say like 2 people together, say you both stream 5 hours, just because somebody watches that person more in the 5 hours does not mean they'll get recommended more, because what happens, they log off. If you keep going, you'll eventually surpass them. So even if you're not as popular, with like view count or things like that, as long as you accumulate those minutes of watch time, it'll build up and the algorithm will recommend you more. At least that's how it's been working when I was like really popping off. This year I've been kind of sporadic because I've been moving and boxing and all those things. But it's tough because there's no really discovery on Twitch other than the recommendation section. Or like if you're on a category page, people don't tend to scroll down the category. It's like the top 10, what they can see within the browser window without scrolling, that's what they pick on because people are lazy. So you actually have to grow on other platforms more where there is discoverability. Like TikTok's a great way now. Like Twitter, Instagram. That's how I grew, was Twitter, Instagram, and then a little bit of YouTube, but YouTube isn't like as easy for me because it's always changing the algorithm and it'll stop recommending if you're like too sexy. So
what would you do? Would you just post like cosplay stuff and then people just found you organically through those platforms, then routed you towards the Twitch? Yeah,
and also my Facebook cosplay page. But eventually I stopped doing cosplay as much because it just wasn't as profitable. It was actually really sad, but that's just the way humans are. You would make this amazing armor piece, super accurate. You would dress up as this character and you would get maybe like 5,000 likes. And then you dress up in a Misty cosplay, which is a tank top and booty shorts from Walmart that took you 5 minutes to put on, and it's like 30,000 likes. It's like, why bother?
Men are simple. We don't need much.
Is most of the appreciation of cosplaying, is that like coming from a male audience, or is it a female audience? Is it like the intricacy of the costume itself, or is it just the way it looks? Like what is the appeal? Because I've personally never been super interested in cosplaying, but I'm trying to understand like why people like it.
Well, I think the people that appreciate the art the most are probably women more than men, because that seems to be like the type of people who go into it because it's like, wow, I'm making this thing, it's so cool, it's so crafty, look, haha, it's so fun. But they tend to do it more because they can monetize it, whereas it's harder for guys to monetize cosplay. So you end up getting just a bunch of women who are into it mostly. And then the audience, though, who looks at women's pictures and likes them and engages with them typically are men. And the men are going to respond more to the sexy character than they are like the armored up, authentic looking World of Warcraft build, right?
Right.
It just is. That is the nature of sexuality, So it's tough for sure.
Have you noticed that costumes for Halloween, if you look at women's costumes, it's like sexy nun, sexy whatever,
sexy giraffe.
And then you look at men's costumes, banana. You know what I mean? It's like a peanut butter.
It's got to be something funny or spooky. Funny or scary.
Do you think that that's kind of going down the wrong direction? Because cosplay is more than about just being sexy, right?
Yeah, I think the crafting part of cosplay definitely is more about making it for the art of it. Like if you compete, you do like competitions at conventions, it's definitely for the art of it. Or if you can monetize, like if a gaming company hires you to cosplay a new character and like promo it at events or on social media, then you can kind of get paid for the art of it. But for the most part, the best monetization is always just going to be the sexy route. And so people will start doing this thing like bikini versions of characters. Like they'll just like make it more sexy if it's not a sexy character.
It
makes sense.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, I think I approach it from a very logical standpoint. If your goal is viewership, how do you gain the most viewership? If that's the way to do it, that's the way to do it.
Right.
It's like, I just look at what works.
You have to look at your motives, right? Are you trying to make the most amount of money that you can while you're young and then do whatever you want to enjoy? Or are you trying to share your love of the art and that's all you care about, is sharing that love and finding people who also resonate? If you have other things going on in your life, you don't need it for money, whatever.
Yeah.
Or if you want to just go the harder route and monetize the actual character part, because people will do that. They'll just have a different type of Patreon or whatever, or Etsy if they do commissions themselves, or if they do tutorials for making stuff. Like, it can be done. It's just typically not as much money as quickly. Yeah. So it's perfectly reasonable. Like, if they want to do it, they can make a lot of money doing it compared to like a 9-to-5.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about like millions a month, OnlyFans, low profit margins, low time spent, like just like super profitable in that direction. So it just depends what you want.